This is not a usual video I make, but looking in the times that we're living in today, we are today, November the 5th. Today is the day of the US elections, and it seems to be a very important time and one of the most important elections, you can say, out of the history, although it's what they say every 4 years. But I feel with everything that's going on in the world today that you can say that the outcome of the election will determine a lot of events that will probably happen or not happen in the near future. For me, what I have seen in this time of elections, which I followed quite closely, although I'm a European and I live in Europe, but I find it fascinating how one of the most impactful leaders in the world are using the media and the evolution that the media is going through as a way to present themselves, their policies, where they stand for, but also themselves as a person, as an authentic human being. And if you look at evolution of media, then we all know the traditional media, television, radio, billboards, all this media that exists for decades. And then you have the newer media. It's not the new media anymore, not so much anymore, because the internet is already around for like 2 decades, something like that. But you see the evolution of the media. It's a super interesting thing to follow. And everything starts shifting from traditional media to online media. You see that the legacy media is getting less and less exposure, although they don't really admit it. But you see that their narrative and the way to attract people changed a lot over the past few years. And that is because a lot of people are moving more to online media, to online sources. And one of the things that grown much is social media. So people are gathering their news on social media. And of course, also the legacy media is present on social media. It's not that different from them. The thing is that also other people can use social media to spread news and information. And I don't want to go too deep in the rabbit hole of the truthfulness of the information that you can find online. But I want to talk more about the formats that you see today that are more popular, that can be useful for leaders, for people, for personalities that want to persuade people, that want to attract people to the message that they have to share, to the beliefs that they have, to the mission that they have. In this case, is for the country. But I also want to reflect that to other leaders in society. My mission in the last few months actually is to support people that have a clear message around mental health, personal transformation, how you can see things in a different perspective, how you can get rid of your belief system that is like integrated in you from society, from your childhood, from your environments that you have been living in, and that you are able to create another belief system that is more truthful to yourself. This is one of the topics that I found very fascinating to talk about and also to listen to, because the podcast that I'm hosting, there I invite people to share their story, the work that they do, in a way to impact as much people as possible, to influence as much people as possible, so that they know that this exists, that they know there is a way for them to to maybe heal themselves, to get rid of certain blocks in their life that they are facing, and that there are more solutions than the one they are getting presented by traditional healthcare professionals and the traditional healthcare system. And I'm not saying that that's a wrong thing or they don't go do anything good, because that's so not true. I think the healthcare system does a lot of good things, but in the meantime, there are so much more new evolutions that are super interesting and super important to watch, actually, that can be very beneficial and that are not part of an economical system that needs to have continuous revenue to exist. So I may be a little bit going sideways here, but my point is that if you look at the elections over the past few weeks, then you see clearly that the choices of the different parties are very different. We see that one party is more leaning into legacy media, traditional media, going on debates, going on interviews. And the other party has discovered the new way of broadcasting themselves. They're going to podcasts. You also saw a lot of rallies, of course, and also some interviews on legacy media. But most of all, you saw a lot of podcast interviews. And you can say, yeah, that's probably because of the bigger reach. And that's true, because podcasts really have a bigger reach. If you look at the episode with Joe Rogan, I think it's around 50 million views that it has already today. That's massive. That's the combination of all the legacy media together. In a kind of way. So I believe that this shows the big potential for the leaders that want to share their message to the outside world. So if you are someone that has an important mission to share, an important story, and you feel that you can't find your audience, or you can't have you don't have enough reach, you did a lot of things on social media, you maybe went on a few stages to share your story, but you don't seem to be able to reach more people, then I created a solution for you so that you can reach more people. And that's the reason why I create this video. For example, what you see today in the coaching industry, which is an industry that I am following for the past few months very closely, it is that the market becomes super saturated. And you see that it's super hard actually to differentiate yourself in that kind of market as a trustworthy coach, as someone that has the skills, the experience, the knowledge, the ambition, the passion to change people's lives. And yeah, how do you differentiate yourself outside of the traditional marketing? And how are you not tempted to start working with the marketing gurus that help you to achieve 5K a month, 10K a month, 100K a year, all these astronomical numbers? Well, maybe they're not astronomical numbers, they are realistic numbers that you can achieve. But why we need to focus so much on these numbers? Why we need to focus so much on that money and the bank account? If you have an impactful story that you want to share with your audience, the focus should be on that. It should be on your message. It should be on the reach. How much people can you reach? How much lives can you change with the message that you have? That should be your focus. And that's something that I want to focus on in the future as well. Because what you see is, if I reach out to coaches and I ask them if they are ready to go on a stage, if they are ready to come into a podcast, then you can really filter out the ones that take things serious, the ones that are really going for changing people's lives. And that I found so powerful, that this is, for me, what I want to focus on in the coming time. For this, I've created a free guide. It's a guide that shows you different steps on how to get on famous podcasts or stages. Because if you never did something like this before, I can imagine that it can be very confusing actually to get there. And your mindset is probably not helping you as well, because we see a lot of people that have this kind of imposter syndrome. They want to create that impact. They want to come out there, but you see a lot of hesitation. This free guide will help you with that. It will help you to prepare to get on those stages. You will learn how to create your pitch. You will learn how to find your message. You will learn how to find those podcasts and how to get in touch with those people. You can find also what a good follow-up system is. So how you can take the most out of the energy that you put into going in a podcast, preparing, going into the podcast, going on a stage. A lot of people don't have really a follow-up system and they don't get the maximum out of it. Because if you reach this amount of people, there is a lot of potential for you, and there are a lot of people that are resonating with what you have to share with your message. So why not just creating a system for you where you can follow up on them and you can help them and maybe support them if that's what they need at that time. If you're interested in that guide, I will share the link here somewhere in the comments and you can download it for free. Thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to the outcome of the elections. I'm not sure it's going to be if it's going to be known tonight or maybe in the coming days. We don't really know, but let's see and wait and hope for the best.